All right, good morning. Happy Thursday. So yesterday, I was hoping you felt a little bit overwhelmed with things because I wanted you to see how important it is. So if you notice, I have not assigned any problems out of P5 yet. So we are not going on to P6. I'm going to talk about the factoring. So you have to know how to factor. Your life's going to be miserable. So anyhow, we're going to go back to P5. We're going to spend a lot of time today working in the teams on the factoring. But if you have any questions about the factoring methods, these right here, you need to let me know. So you need to be able to know the order of the factoring methods, because the way I presented it is the order that you want to follow if you want to be most efficient and not have your problems turn into 5-minute problems instead of 15-second problems. And so this order is very important. If you remember what I said, cases 3, 4, 5 are special cases. So you should put those in a box. And you should remember those special cases. The special cases are the difference of squares, the perfect square trinomial in the form x squared plus bx plus c. So anyhow, I wanted you to see P6 because P6 is a review also, but I wanted you to see the amount of factoring that you're going to have to do. And if you notice yesterday when I taught, I didn't really show how to do them off to the side. I was doing them in my head. And that's where you have to get to, is recognize the difference of squares, do it. You recognize x squared plus bx plus c, do it. And so anyhow, so we're going back to, I am going to be assigning the book work, and I think I already posted it in Google Classroom on page 68. Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard for kids to understand factoring, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's hard for kids to, because you're doing things backwards. So you're not doing the distributive property, you're undoing it. You're not doing the FOIL method, you're undoing it. A lot of times students have problems with it because they can't see common numbers. So it's backwards. It used to be that the whole semester of Algebra 1 was based on factoring, the whole semester. And so I don't know what's going on in other classes right now. I don't even know if they're factoring. Right now, the new thing is this project-based learning. I'm not sure. Yeah, I fought hard against it. I've talked to the curriculum committees. I've talked to the director of curriculum. I've talked to the principal. We have not seen the outcome of this project-based learning, but I'll be honest with you, as a person that only knows math, as a person who scares me a lot. So with you guys, you are getting things that you'll be able to take with you, for sure. You know, I've seen my test scores. I know what kind of success students have had taking my classes. And so I'm just going with it because why would I change a good thing? You know what I mean? So, yeah, but the factoring, you know, it is challenging, but, you know, these puzzles that I gave you are really, really good because it gives you a lot of practice, you know, on doing them. So, anyhow, you'll be able to ask me questions. So I'm going to take questions right now. Does anybody have any questions on the factoring practice? If you're just joining late, please don't join late. It's disrespectful to me and my students. We are not going on with P6. I did kind of want to scare you yesterday because I wanted you to see the importance of factoring. So let me just give you the rundown here. P5 today, taking questions. It will be due on Monday night, and there will be a P5 exam on Tuesday morning at 8. All right. So the book work for P5, I'm going to talk about it today. I've already taught the lesson. We're going to work in teams most of the period. It's due Monday night, and you're going to have an exam on P5 on Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, so you can take a deep breath. We're going to take a deep breath. I'm here for you. So let's just talk about the puzzles. Anybody want to ask me about the puzzles, or anybody want me to work any problems in the puzzle?
Miss Birch, I kind of had like a little bit of problem with like the second page, just a few of them. I don't know why.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I understood it, but it's just I keep getting confused. Exactly what you said with trying to like put it in my head that I'm going backwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you talking about this one?
Yes.
Okay, let's do a problem. Which one you want to do?
Um. Let me get my page real quick.
Anybody else want to make any comments while he's looking for whatever he's looking for? Anybody want to make comments or maybe state your concerns with the factoring? Let me put it this way. There isn't one or two people confused. There's 30 to 50 people that are messed up right now. So don't be afraid to speak up, because remember, that's why you're with me.
Miss Birch.
Don't feel like everyone else knows what's going on and you don't. I mean, there's a lot of people that are confused. All right, go ahead, Bernie.
Can we do 6?
Is that the okay, are you talking about, you want me to let's see. You want me to do, sir? What you want me to do the problem over here?
Yeah.
You want me to do the 14x cubed?
Yeah, please.
Oh my gosh. What happens when I run out of pens? It's not gonna be good. So I'm gonna actually talk about too how I problem. So the way I approach the problem is I have this list memorized in my mind. And yeah, so you look at this and go, okay, 14 and 3, that you can't do a GCF. Remember, you have to do a GCF first. So then the next one is grouping 2 by 2. It's 4 terms, right? So if you notice that factoring method number 2 is 4 terms, factoring method 3 is 2 terms, and 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, and 6 are 3 terms. All right, so we're going to try grouping here. And remember, when you do grouping, you make 2 cakes. So what you do is you look at the first cake and you just say, what's common? Well, we know that an x squared is common, right? And isn't a 7 common with those 2 numbers? Bernie, do you see that? A 7 is common?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Okay. Even though we are dividing, that would be 2x. What is that? -3. Okay, did everyone follow that? Videos, please, and give me a thumbs up. That'll help.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so now check this out. The way I'm teaching it, you have to take out something. So if there's nothing to take out, I have to take out a 1. So when I take out a 1, this is going to be negative and the cakes aren't going to match. So what we have to do is we have to take out a -1 so that we get a negative times a positive is a negative, and see how the cakes are matching again? And a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, did everybody follow that? Ask me if you didn't.
And the reason why we're putting that is because 1 goes into both of those, correct? For the -2x or the 2x.
The only thing that's common is a 1. There's no other number that's common.
Mm.
Common means the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're done. 7x squared minus 1, and you take 1 of the cakes. And what we did was the FOIL method backwards. Now, in the future, when stuff starts getting hard, You might have to by 2, and then you might have to factor using the difference of squares. So what we're doing right now are just the problems, and that's why I'm stressing that you know them. Things are going to get complicated, and you saw some of it yesterday. So let me repeat this. You might have to do a GCF, you might have to do grouping, and then you might have to do the difference of squares. So this is not the difference of squares. 7 is not a square. So you're done. And like I said, what you did was the FOIL method backwards.
Ms. Birch.
Go ahead.
On the third page, for number 3, it says x squared minus 81. That would be x plus 9 and then x minus 9, correct?
That's correct. That's
okay.
Correct.
That's pretty easy.
Hold on. Pens. I need an unlimited supply of pens. Okay. When you have 2 terms, that's going to be the E.
Yeah.
Just write the answer. Like you said it really quick. You go x plus 9 times x minus 9. That's correct. Just remember though, if you had to do a GCF first, see, the problem may not have been like that. What if the problem was like this? That's not the difference. And you would have to do, let me change this real quick. You would have to do a GCF and take out a 2. So 2 times what is that? X squared. 2 times what is that? Negative 16. See that? Isn't that the difference of squares? So what you'd have to do is let the 2 float down, and this would be x plus 4 times. That's completely factored. So you cannot leave an answer like this one. This is not completely factored. You would have to use the difference of squares. So in this particular problem, you had to factor twice. So you have to factor completely. All right, go ahead. Anybody want to ask me about either of these 2 problems?
Ms. Birch, can we move down to the factoring trinomial squares?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll be honest with you. Often. So the time that you want to use factoring trinomials is when it's very complicated. So let me see if I can find one. So this is the one number on your factoring list. It's number 4. You do not use that one as often as others. Like in these problems, no, that's not it. Let me see if I can find one that's really messed up. Okay, I'm going to do number 13. Okay, you see all those huge numbers? Factoring would be a pain in the rear if we didn't have factoring method 4. And so when you have big numbers like this, you want to notice that that's a perfect square and that's a perfect square. If you try to use factoring method 6 on this, it's a pain in the rear. It's going to suck up like 20 minutes of your life. So remember what I said to do on this. I said to look at the first one as a square, look to see if the third one's a square, and then you always take 2 times those and see if this works. If it works, it's a perfect square trinomial. So let's see here. Is that a perfect square? 6x times 6x. So now you take 12, what's 12 for 48? Special case. So now this is a perfect square trinomial with a minus. because these are the same. They only differ by a sign. And this would be 6x minus. So for a problem like this, you would want to do a perfect square trinomial. But like I said, the perfect square trinomial is not used a lot, except when it's these big numbers, because it saves a lot of time. It's a special case.
Ms. Birch, like the your camera is like out of focus. I don't know if it's my computer, but it just seems like really out of focus on my end.
Okay. Is anybody else's camera? Is anybody else blurry?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
move it up. I'm gonna move it up. And let me turn some stuff off. Bear with me. Okay, does this look any better, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, let me know whenever things get messed up. All right, thank you for telling me. Okay, let's hear some from some others. Anybody else want me to do anything, or any other problems you want to look at? Did any of you feel overwhelmed yesterday when I was showing you the simplifying the rational expressions?
A little bit, because I was like, wait, and then I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I was
like,
hold
it's
it.
like, yeah, we went from being okay to, oh my gosh, what just happened? What did I just miss? So I did that, like I said, I did that because I wanted you to see the importance of factoring, and I really want you to focus on it. And so can you guys look with me on 68? You have your books, page 68. Now, if you look at problems 1 through 10, they straight out tell you, use a greatest common factor. Problems number 11, factor by grouping. Problem number 17, factor, that looks like factoring method 5 and 6. Number 39 is the difference of squares. Number 40, perfect square trinomials. So I'm hoping, and I gave you this extra practice for a reason. I started out with the puzzles, and now we're going to do the actual lesson, and hopefully it's going to be, easy now that you did those puzzles. I threw out the hardest problems too. So if you notice, I did not assign all the problems in P5. I mainly, the problems I assigned are the ones that I want to hold you accountable for. I didn't assign the factoring with the rational exponent. Focus on these 7 factoring methods. Okay, last call. Does anyone want me to work any of these puzzle problems, or anybody have a question about any of the factoring methods?
Could we just do one more problem on the first page?
Sure.
I just want to, yeah, just any problem. I just want one.
On this page right here?
Yes.
Okay, how about number 14? Okay. Remember that we want to do a greatest common factor first. So we're just looking basically at what's common in the number of terms we have. Remember, you can have 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms. So let's look at the variable first. This guy has 7 x's and this guy has 5. So x to the 5th is limiting the problem. So basically what I'm saying is there's 5 x's here and 5 x's there. There aren't 7 there, so we can't use it. As far as the numbers go, we know that 2 goes into just mess up and do a 2. So 2 times what is that? That would be 6x squared. Because remember, when you multiply, you add the exponents. So that's 12x. 2 times what is that? Negative 4. And it's like, oh my gosh, I forgot to take out a 2. Well, this is the beauty of the way I'm teaching this. And I haven't always refined to being pretty good. You build another cake, not a lake, a cake, and you take out a 2 now. So 2 times what is that? 3x squared. 2 times what is that? Negative 2. And so the way I'm teaching it, you can recover. Because now your answer, you multiply 4x to the 5th times. And we got the greatest.
So you multiply 2 times 2 then, right? Like 2x to the 5th and then times 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything that's ever out in front, you multiply. And this seems right? Because I should have taken out a 4, but I didn't see it. So if I had taken out 4, this would have been 1 step. But I took out a 2, but you notice how I recovered by building another layer, and then you just multiply these numbers in front. Do you get it? Do you get it, Bernie, or no? What are you getting confused about? Anything?
Nothing. I understand it.
Okay.
But then, okay, so in the third step where it's like 2 and then like the little cake and then it says 3x squared minus 2, what happens to the square?
Oh. Mistake. Way to catch me. Thank you.
No problem.
Hey, when you start correcting me, that means you really know what's going on. So good job. Yeah, I love that. Correct me, that means they know exactly what's happening. So good job. All right, last call. Would anyone like me to ask, would like me to work any of these facts? Okay, well, what we're going to do in the change, there's been some different class changes and stuff. So you just need to look at what group you belong in. If you're new to the group, please introduce yourself. We've been doing really good at practicing asking questions in the group, like, okay, what's the problem? You know, what do we do now? What do we do next? I know you guys are working really hard at trying to do what I want, and I appreciate that. So thank you for turning on your video. Thank you for talking out loud. And now what we're going to do is you are going to remember how I want the format of the assignments. I was talking about this yesterday. The should be worked vertically up and down, 2 columns only per page, so that when you fold it, when we get back to school, everything's going to be cool. This is what the assignment should look like. You should write the original problem and work vertically. Make sure you're doing that, because I'm going to flip out. Back to school, I'm going to be like, what have you been doing? Why are you not following directions? I've been going this over and over on online. Why are you not doing it? So make sure you're doing it, because it is eliminating confusion. So not only are you doing it in a format that I want, but it is eliminating confusion. So please do what I want. There's a reason for everything that I do. Okay, all right. I'm going to see you. Class is over at what, 10:45? So we got some time. You should be able to do the whole assignment. I am taking time today because I want you to get this down. So this is very, very important. Okay, so call me, send me a reminder if you need me to come in and do something. I'd be happy to come in and explain something or do a problem. All right. Okay, so I'll see you in those groups. Class is out at 10:45, and we'll go on from there. Okay. All right, so go ahead and go into your math wizard teams. We're working on assignment lesson P5.